Welcome to Prime Life. We call it Retirement 2.0. Leave each episode with tips and new ideas to help you navigate retirement in our new age. It's your time. Make it count.
This podcast is for educational purposes only. It is not intended as medical, investment, or financial advice. We do not sponsor or endorse any of the individuals, companies, products, or services featured on this podcast. Any statements or opinions expressed are of the individual who makes them. We hope you enjoy the episode.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Prime Life Podcast. Today we are joined here with Mary and Joseph. It's great to be back. I know it's been a minute since I've been on a few episodes here, but it's such a wonderful conversation we're going to be having today. Joseph, how are you?
Great, and it is great to have you back in the seat as well.
Great to be back in the saddle. Mary, how are you doing?
I'm doing fabulous. The band is back together.
Love that. And with that, if you could please do our intro and we get this conversation started.
Absolutely. Thank you, Laura. So today we have Claire Cavalieri. She focuses on the ageless aging wellness. She's a coach. She works with individuals whose desire is to keep their body young, their mind sharp, and flourish as they age. We all love that, right? She's certified in wellness from Harvard Medical School. Claire is a prime example of avoiding disease, staying fit, and living her healthy years vibrantly. Her authority in the fields of health and wellness, fitness, and nutrition have propelled her to be one of a few wellness coaches in the nation specializing in slowing aging and extending life expectancy. Claire, welcome to the Prime Life Podcast. You know we're all about longevity here, so this is a perfect conversation for us today. Welcome, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am a wellness coach, and I work with people one-on-one. People come to me who may have a health issue, such as insomnia, or they may have nutrition concerns. But my Breakthrough Wellness program focuses on getting people to look into their future, maybe even decades ahead, and deciding where they want to be at that time, what they want their health to be like, how they want to feel, what they want to be doing, and then backing it up to today and fitting them with a program that will prepare them for their future. So coming up with a diet program, an exercise program, a wellness program as a whole, so that they can be prepared for their future down the road, and so that they will be healthy and ready to go in maybe when they're 75 or when they're 80. So that's what my Breakthrough Signature program is all about.
All right, I'll jump in. So you have the signature program. I may not be able to think so far in advance to the future. Do you help your clients with that process? Like, what do I do tomorrow, versus what do I do in 6 months from now? Like, maybe walk us through a little bit of a day-to-day of what a program might look like.
Well, yeah, I know it might be hard for people to visualize what they're going to be doing or want to do when they are 75 or 80. So I do help them see what life would be like if they don't plan for the future. People think that they don't have any control over their health, and they just let each day go by one by one and just live in the moment and don't take control of their life whatsoever. And I try to make the point that if that's the case, then like a tree or like a flower, what happens over time, things just naturally deteriorate. And that's what happens to the body if we don't take any control. So I try to explain to them that if you don't take control and make plans today for your future, that the body will deteriorate, and you do have complete control, almost 80 to 90% control over your health and wellness, starting this very moment and into your future by your lifestyle choices.
So that's really interesting. And talk to us more about the lifestyle choices. I think that most people have been exposed to types of conversations around this topic in various forms and different ways. But tell us a little bit more about the lifestyle choices and maybe focusing on things that are lesser known.
Well, globally, the number one killer of people is heart disease. And that's generally the major, probably the biggest known thing. Lesser known are what's called the other three killers of the population are cancer. People should know about that. And then also diabetes and dementia. And people don't realize, like dementia, for example, that is very much preventable, again, by lifestyle choices. They think that that's just going to happen to me when I get old. But it is absolutely preventable with our lifestyle choices by making good dietary selections, by exercising, by, especially in the case of, it's been scientifically studied, by sleeping, getting good sleep, 7 to 9 hours per night, and relaxing, stress reduction is very important. So those are the four major killers globally.
Claire, let's talk a little bit about mental health, or positive versus negative thoughts that we all have. What type of an impact does that have on the body, on longevity, and what can individuals do to help mitigate that?
And we'll get that answer after a brief word from our commercial sponsors.
NASA is always working harder to be your carrier of choice. We offer insurance products that can help you meet your retirement goals, such as protecting your savings, securing lifetime income, or paying for healthcare costs. We're dedicated to providing best-in-class service and are keeping things simple, and we'll have your back. We have around 400,000 policyholders and contract holders and have been doing this for a long time, 170 years, but we remain humble enough to always try to improve. For more information, visit nfg.com. Nassau insurance products are issued by Nassau Life and Annuity Company of Hartford, Connecticut, Nassau Life Insurance Company, East Greenbush, New York, or Nassau Life Insurance Company of Kansas, Overland Park, Kansas. Subsidiaries of Nassau Financial Group. Products are not available in all areas. Policyholder counts are for all Nassau companies as of September 30th, 2022, and are subject to change.
Well, we all have a stream of consciousness going on in our heads all the time, and we may not realize it. Some people lean towards positive thinking, some people lean towards negative thinking, and it usually starts in our childhood. When we have thoughts, whether they're positive or negative, those thoughts are converted to chemicals. So, for example, positive thoughts are converted to chemicals such as serotonin and dopamine. Those are called the happy chemicals. And when you have a pervasive stream of chemistry like that going through your body on a regular basis, you would be considered a positive thinker. Those good chemicals, let's call them, boost your immune system. And when you have a strong immune system, it's going to protect you from illness and disease. So being a positive thinker then does affect your health in a good way. Now, on the other hand, if you are somebody who pervasively thinks negative thoughts, your thoughts are going to be converted to stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. And when those stress hormones are pervading your body, your cells, over a period of time, those are going to inflame your body. And that inflammation starts to erode your immune system. And when your immune system is eroded, it's lowered, it lowers your, it decreases your health over a period of time. And you're then no longer protected from illness and disease. So you start catching colds, COVID, flu, things like that. And you are then subject to diseases that I spoke about earlier, such as they call them the four horsemen, the major killers out there, like heart disease, diabetes, and dementia and cancer. So my motto is don't worry, be happy. Think positive thoughts. Keep yourself healthy.
I think there was a song by that title.
That's right.
Nature versus nurture. Like how much of people's longevity and wellness into later in life is nature and how much of it is nurture?
Well, we all inherit genes from our parents. And about 10 to 20% of what we inherit is predisposed. It's predisposed by our genes. That doesn't mean, let's use an example. Let's say that we have a gene from one of our parents, or maybe even both, for diabetes. We're predisposed to that disease. But that doesn't mean we're going to get that disease. The gene is like a on-off switch. So you have control to the degree of your lifestyle choices. You can affect whether that switch, that gene, is turned on or turned off by the lifestyle choices you make, such as the diet that you choose, by the beverages that you drink, by the quality of your sleep, by your stress levels, by your mindset, whether you're a positive or negative thinker. So in the case of diabetes, let's say you have a gene for diabetes, so much can be controlled as to whether you end up getting that disease by the choices that you make as to whether or not you end up with that disease. let's say you make really good choices throughout your life and you eat a good diet and you exercise, you sleep well, you have low stress, you're most likely not going to end up with that disease, which means you're going to live longer and you're not going to get it. That's how nature versus nurture. You may have the gene, but you never get the disease. That's how it works. And that is the scientific name for that is epigenetics.
We had a session on epigenetics a while back, so it's interesting. It's all connecting the
Oh,
dots.
you did? Yeah, it's fascinating science because what it means is we really do have control over the future of our health.
Let's dive deeper. So we've talked a little bit about, it's what you consume, it's how you think, it's all of these things. But can you give us a few easy, like in the moment, what is something I can do right now, or what is something I can do today, this week, that will help potentially put me on a path towards more positive future?
Oh, some easy things that you could do would be that could change your future. Avoid alcohol. I know people probably don't want to hear that, but alcohol is considered a toxin. So just removing that toxin from your body. I mean, maybe you can have it once in a great while, but by and large, alcohol is a toxin. I think the FDA is now recognizing that and maybe deciding to put that a warning label on alcohol. Avoiding ultra processed foods. Those are foods that are the ingredients are like a lot of sugar and white flour. So when you go in the grocery store, you see foods that are out on the tables on the end caps, such as pre-made cookies and cupcakes and cakes and white bread. Those things that look really yummy and have all the frosting all over them. Try to avoid ultra processed foods because they are literally toxic to your body. Another thing is to drink a lot of water, 8 glasses of water a day if possible, and preferably filtered water. Water gets all the toxins out of your body and it gives you energy and plumps up your skin and makes your complexion look healthy. So just drinking good water all day long is another thing that you can do. So those are just 3 things right off the bat that people can do starting right now.
So you mentioned skin, which I love. Can you talk a little bit more beyond that, the water piece, in terms of what we can do to improve the appearance of our skin as we age?
Some of the things, our skin, which is the largest organ in our body, is a reflection of how we care for ourselves. And our skin will reflect our diet. So if you're eating good, nutritious food, our skin will reflect how we eat and what kinds of foods we're putting into our body. Exercise. If you exercise frequently, your blood will circulate and your skin will tone up. So exercising. Good sleep. When you're sleeping, your body is working to rid itself of the toxins in the body. So good sleep, 7 to 9 hours per night. That's another thing. And stress. The skin is one of the first places that stress appears. That's what they say about getting wrinkles. So try to keep stress to a minimum or do stress reduction sorts of activities. I like to recommend every day, spend an hour doing something enjoyable to lower your stress. So stress reduction or some form of relaxation. And then I recommend using non-toxic skincare products that keep the chemicals off of your skin. So, and then just having fun. Cuddling is another thing.
Cuddling. That's a good one. I just want to throw out a couple of thoughts through the last few questions. You've talked about laughter. I know there's been books written about laughter is the best medicine, so totally game for that one. Memory is tied to sleep as well, I believe. I've read about how your brain sort of cleans itself at night, as well as you mentioned the rest of your body. But I read a book many years ago, I still have it somewhere in my house, called The Face Never Lies. And it's all about how your face is sort of like, from more of a holistic medical practice, could almost, if you know what you're looking for, could diagnose your body because of what you're talking about. Like everything comes out through the skin, and your face is like sort of the entryway to the body, so to speak. It's an interesting book. It's not science in the sense of medical science, but more of a holistic Eastern medicine sort of philosophy. Talking about philosophy, tell us a little bit about your philosophy of how you work with clients and how you started this business a little bit.
Well, that would go to my background. I was raised in an Italian American family. And my mother, she cooked healthy food for us. I didn't know it at the time, but as it turns out, it was what they now call the Mediterranean diet. We were required to eat what was on the plate. And, she cooked a lot of vegetables, and we had to eat every single pea on the plate. And we couldn't, my brothers used to put the peas under the lip of the plate, and my father would make sure that there were no peas left under the lip of the plate. And we always had fish on Friday. So if you were Catholic, you knew that was the rule. So it was an acquired taste for me, but I have grown to absolutely love fish. It's always my choice on the menu. So it wasn't what Americans think of as Italian food. We did not have pasta very often, which I'm sorry to say because I absolutely love pasta. So it was really, looking back now, it was a very healthy way of eating. We, honest to God, we rarely had dessert. Only when we had special occasion or company. I don't remember dessert except maybe, I don't know, fruit or something. So it was something I learned to appreciate as I got older. I grew up in the Great Lakes state of Michigan, where we had the four seasons, and we were always outside doing some sort of sporting activity, like playing golf or tennis or swimming or some kind of skiing. Like snow skiing, cross country skiing, water skiing, walking, hiking, jogging. We were always outside, boating. And I learned to appreciate nature and just being outdoors and moving my body and having fun. And so as I grew up, I realized that I was kind of like a health nut. I loved to eat good food. We did go out for dinner sometimes, but mostly we ate healthy food. My dad would grill chicken or fish on the grill, and my mom would, make some side dishes, and we just had fun. We had a lot of people over, a lot, large celebrations at the holidays, and I remember my best memories were getting together with family and friends and eating just good food. And so my best memories are, we traveled in large groups too, family and friends, and being outdoors. And that's what I recall. And so when I grew up and decided, what am I going to do? What do I know best? And it was eating good food that was healthy and moving my body and how good that felt. And so I decided that I could show people that this was a great way of life. And I sort of considered myself like a health nut because that's all I knew. So that's kind of how I got here.
I love that, right? It's important to understand what we can control, and so many of those variables we can control, right? So it's recognizing that we may not be able to maestro our entire life, but those things where we're choosing, what do we eat, what do we drink, how do we spend our time, who do we spend our time with? I love that all of these things feel tangible for the listener, and myself included. It's a good reminder, especially around, drinking more water and thinking happy thoughts and kind of the positivity, taking your happy pill. As we get to the top of our time here, Claire, it would be great. You've touched on this a bit, but to hear a little bit more in depth, what is your why? Why do you wake up every day and do the work that you do?
Because I feel so grounded in it. It's the way I was raised. And I know it brought me sheer joy to spend time with my family and friends, and it made me so happy. And I know that I can contribute what I know, the way I was raised. The food is very, very healthy. I mean, this is the way Italians have spent centuries cooking good food. It's nutritious, it's whole food. And just moving naturally. I mean, we didn't like play competitive sports. We just did things that were outdoors and took advantage of nature and the surroundings. We just happened to grow up in a beautiful state where there were lakes and woods and rivers. And so we just went outdoors and did what was there. And we did it with our loved ones, and we had fun and we goofed around. And so it was just being who we were in a beautiful environment. And I think that's what I want to share with people, is that you can find joy where you are, being with the people who you love and cooking delicious food. And it doesn't have to be expensive. And I have family recipes to share. And now I'm calling my longevity formula the chicken cacciatore formula of longevity, because I have a wonderful chicken cacciatore family recipe that it's not like anybody else's. And I want to share it because, it's part of my family. And so I want to pass it down to make it a legacy so people can enjoy it as well.
I love that. And we're going to link to additional information in the show notes. So we welcome you to all discover the chicken cacciatore recipe, both figuratively and literally. So I look forward to taking part in that as well. And Claire, what is the best way for people to contact you if they want to learn more and work with you?
They can go to my website, which the chicken cacciatore recipe appears on. And my website is clairecavalieri.com.
Awesome. Claire, thank you so much for your time today. Mary, Joseph, it was great conversation. Look forward to continuing this longevity talk as we go on to our next episode of the Prime Life podcast. Thank you to everybody who's listened today, and we welcome you to listen next week as well. Thank you so much.
It was my pleasure.
Ciao.
Thank you so much. Ciao, ciao.
Remember to subscribe to the Prime Life podcast anywhere you find podcasts. You can find all of our episodes, contact information, and more on our website, primelifepodcast.com. Stay connected with us. Follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.